Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Guru Sambande Maya Kaila Dunhakare
Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare.
No? Guru.
No?
Guru Sambande Manya Kaila Dunhakare Chandra Agya Mani Seva Direna Dunhare
Guru Sambande.
Guru Sambande
In relationship with one's spiritual master.
Relationship with one's spiritual master.
Manya,
Manya,
honor.
honor.
Kaila,
Kaila,
offered.
offered.
Dunhakare,
Dunhakare,
to both of them.
both of them.
Tanra Agya
Chandra Agya
is order.
is order.
Mani,
Mani,
accepting.
accepting.
Seva,
Seva,
service.
service.
Dilena,
Ilena,
gave them.
gave them.
Donare,
Dunhare,
to both of them.
both of them.
Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. It is written in French here, so I'm gonna try to translate in English. It's in English here. Oh, so someone can read in English? That's better.
Both Kashisvar and Govinda were godbrothers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and thus the Lord duly honored them as soon as they arrived. But because Ishvara Puri had ordered them to give Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personal service, the Lord accepted their service.
Yes. So let's go on with verse 141, because we commented that one last week. Anga seva govindere dilena ishvara, Jagannatha dekite chalena age kashishvara. Translation. Govinda, who take care of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body, as Kashishvar was coming before the Lord, before he came to see Lord Jagannath in the temple. So here we see that various devotees of Lord Chaitanya have got various services in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yuga Avatar, yes. Here we speak of Kashishvar and Govinda, who have been Shri Kashishvar ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Swadevi ki jai, Shri Tagore ki jai. Yes, Kashishvar and Govinda are actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's god brothers, but they have been delegated by Ishvara Puri to take care of. They are very special god brother. That is to say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Yes. And they are assisted by other devotees who are, then we can see how in Krishna consciousness, one is a servant of the servant of the servant. This is a parampara system of service, and going to Krishna, actually. So, yes, and Keshishvar, as we see, is a kind of bodyguard to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Govinda is someone who is giving massage or assisting Chaitanya Prabhu is in a personal comfort at home, we can say. Apararasya gosani manusya gahane manusya teli parakare kashig balavane. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go and visit Sri Jagannath Temple, Keshishvar, who was very strong, he would take care, and he would say people to go away. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who could come, could pass through without being touched by anyone. 143. Ramainandai done Prabhura Kinkara Govindera Sange Sevakare Nirantara. Ramai and Nandai, the 20th and 21st among the most important devotees in Jagannath Puri, would assist Govinda in his service at any time of the day and night, so that he could serve the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very nicely. Yes. Basai Gada Dali Dina Barena Ramai Govinda Agyaya Sevakarena Nandai. Every day, Ramai would fill 22 pots of water, and Nandai would assist personally Govinda. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Purport to verse 144. In Gora Genodesh Dipika, verse 139, it is said that the two servants who were in a past life serving Krishna with milk and water, they came back and became Ramai and Nandai in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. So, interestingly, we can see that there is a connection between Krishna Lila, eternal Krishna Lila, in the spiritual realm, in Goloka Vrindavan, and Chaitanya Lila on this planet Earth. And actually, when there is a pure devotee of the Lord, or when there is the Lord Himself, actually, this planet Earth is not different from Goloka Vrindavan. And we can recall the past times by Srila Prabhupada. It was in New York, in the very first days of ISKCON. ISKCON maybe was not even incorporated, but he was passing through the streets with some of his very intimate followers, his very first followers, and some of them remarked and said to Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada, we should bring you to another place. Just, it is filthy here. So filthy, this place is dirty." And Prabhupada said, "No, this is a spiritual world." Yes, Krishna, the pure disciple, the pure devotee of Krishna, actually, he sees Krishna everywhere, and he has he makes no distinction between spiritual and material on the absolute point of view. The pure devotee is always in connection with Krishna anyway. But for the sake of preaching, yes, the pure devotee of the Lord has to come back to a lower level, to a medium level, in order to be able to preach. Otherwise, the fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and he can see no difference between material and spiritual. Yes. So today, as we announced, it is a very special anniversary. This is the anniversary of ISKCON incorporation in New York. That took place in 1966, the 19th of July, and the International Society for Krishna Consciousness was incorporated in in 22nd Avenue, and the very first disciples were there, was beloved Srila Prabhupada, was our Gurudev, and it is said that some devotees had suggested that why don't we call International Society for God Consciousness? Yes, but Srila Prabhupada insisted very much that we should call this new movement International Society for Krishna Consciousness, because Krishna is God, and when we speak of God, we think of Krishna, and Krishna is the original name of God. All the other names of God derive from Krishna, and God is actually a function, a title, but the title has to have someone who embodies the title, and who is best apart from Lord Krishna. Krishna really is God, and there is no difference between God and Krishna. And God has some kind of, let's say, impersonalistic flavor. And for International Society for Krishna Consciousness is not based on impersonalism, but it is a pure personalist, theistic movement, directly emanating from the spiritual world. So let's read together the 7 explicit purposes of the ISKCON movement, which has been indicated for so many years in the Back to Godhead magazine, which also was founded by Srila Prabhupada many years before ISKCON appeared in his form in 1966. So, first of all, first point, the first purpose of ISKCON is, number 1, to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life, in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. So yes, ISKCON is not a sectarian society, it is for all people. Either you are black, white, Muslim background, Christian background, Hindu background, doesn't matter. Everyone is a good child of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. And this first point is also to make clear that we actually live in a godless society, unfortunately, in this age of Kali. And so we should try, by the efforts of the devotees, following the footsteps of the pure devotees, to clear up the nasty atmosphere of the age of Kali. Point number 2. to propagate the consciousness of Krishna, God, as it is revealed in the great scriptures of India, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, and actually these two holy books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, were the favorite ones, if we can say so, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna Avatar. Yes. Number 3, to bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus developing the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead, Krishna. Yes. Because what we are is the Sankirtan movement. Kirtan means music or chanting. San means together. Sankirtan movement means chanting Hare Krishna all together. Yes. Even japa, actually. Even japa. It's nice to chant japa all together in the chapel room. To have sessions also for japa together, yes. Although japa is for personal dialogue with Krishna every day. And here we speak of the quality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna is a person, the supreme person. We should never forget this aspect of spiritual life. Because the main trouble with us is also, although we may claim that we are devotees, so often we have the tendency to have so many impersonalistic tendencies, so much rooted deep in the heart, unfortunately. And a senior devotee, he explained to us one day in the class that actually, if you don't clean your teeth, you are such a rascal impersonalist. Why so? Because if you don't clean your teeth, it means you don't show respect to the one you are supposed to address every day, at every minute and second of your life. And this person, the supreme person actually you are addressing it to, is Krishna. And if you don't clean your teeth, that means that you show some disrespect to Krishna, because if you don't clean your teeth, you may not have a good, let's say, flavor in your mouth, or you may have a yellow teeth or whatever. This is not pleasant to Krishna. It's not pleasant also to Krishna's servants, that is to say, other devotees. So, clean your teeth, and you may progress on your path to personalism. Interesting. So, number 4, to teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement. Here we are. Congregational chanting of the holy name of Lord, as revealed in the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of God. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevaram, Kalanasti, Vanasti, 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 Vagatir, Anyata. 5. To erect for the members and for society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of God, of Godhead, Krishna. To the personality of Krishna. So here, from it's little mysterious, is it referring directly to Mayapur or Vrindavan? Someone knows? Or does it reflect to any temple that we could build or install for the pleasure of the pure devotee, Prabhupada, also for the pleasure of Krishna? Yes. Number 6, to bring the members close together for the purpose of teaching a simpler, more natural way of life. Yes, our present lifestyle is, to say the least, artificial. We have the tendency to forget that there is nature, that there are birds flying in the sky, that there are cows supplying milk, that there are so many, that there is Mother Bhumi, nature. We have to take care of nature for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, so for the pleasure of the devotees. And if we take care of Bhumi, Mother Bhumi, yes, we shall please very much to Lord Krishna. And again, in this point number 6, it is written that bring members closer together. For the third or fourth time, it is said that we are together. This really, this ISKCON society is a society for to being together, to serve Krishna together, in case we don't understand. Yes. Point number 7. With a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings. So this is a siddhanta to the 7 points for ISKCON, to publish magazine, books, and so forth. This was a personal engagement from Srila Prabhupada to his spiritual master, the personal promise to Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Prabhupada to his spiritual master, to publish and distribute books. Because Maharaj Bhakti Saraswati Goswami, he instructed personally Srila Prabhupada, right before Radha Kund, to publish and distribute books whenever he had some money. And so Srila Prabhupada set the examples and inspiring us every day to distribute books in every corner of the world. And in Srila Bhakti Godhead magazine, there is a motto, Krishna Suryasan Mayor Andakor, Yan Krishna Tanmai Mayor Adikor. Sorry for my Bengali, but in English it means Krishna is light, nations is darkness. Wherever and whenever there is light, darkness cannot succeed, cannot prevail. So this Krishna Consciousness movement is an invitation to everyone to escape from darkness of the material world and to always remain in the purity and in the light of the spiritual world. And here, for devotees who may not know, I would recall a few events in which for sometimes we were put into darkness in this Hare Krishna movement in France. And here we have a devotee from this period of time, Mataji, here, you were present at this period of time in 1986 in Krishnaville, when Rajeshwari Mataji, yes. At the time it was a very special moment in Krishna Consciousness France. In 1986, we had a very beautiful property called Krishnaville, with a big castle outside of Paris. The place actually was Ermenonville. And at the time, people in the village, it was a small town or a big village, they didn't like us very much. And they were putting a big demonstration in front of the temple. They had big banners, and on the banners it was written, "Stop to Krishnaville! Stop to Krishnaville! Ban Krishnaville!" At that time, the leaders of the temple, they said, "Oh, Krishnaville, yes, this is a good name. We should call the castle, we should call it Krishnaville instead of Château d'Ermenonville." The official name of the chateau, actually, of this chateau, of the property, was New Dwarkapuri, actually. Because in Dwarka, Krishna is displaying his opulences as a prince, or as a king, or as an emperor. Yes, with so much opulence. And Krishnaville, or New Dwarkapuri, in one sense, was a very, very opulent place. The devotees in 1985 had already made a very, very wonderful temple room with two Vyasasans, one facing one another, one for Srila Prabhupada and one for the Acharya at that time, because at that time it was a zonal Acharya system, and there was one Acharya for the zone, and there was one Acharya. And so, right in 1985, our movement started to have some difficulty in France, started to have some difficulty even to pay invoices. And in 1985, there was, for the first time, we could not pay electricity. And one day, one afternoon, men from EDF, the electricity company in France, they came and they cut down the electricity. There was one brahmachari at that time, was in charge of the administration. He could do nothing, and the electricity was cut off. And the Acharya at the time, Bhagavan Prabhu, he was very, very angry, and he said to us, "This is due to your offenses. You cannot. This is a big offense that we put their lordships into darkness." And so it's true that it was an offense to have their lordships into darkness, but the electricity was recovered sometimes after.
How long?
I think it took at least 1 or 2 months. Huh?
Really?
I don't remember exactly, but it took some time, yes. And we had to chant rounds in Krishnaville with a little candlelight, and it was very sad. Anyway, gloomy atmosphere.
What time of the year?
Must have been in, I think, April or something. March, February or March, something.
Still winter time.
Yeah, it was dark days. Then after, the Acharya of the time, he had an idea that he put to replace, there is one song, and this is, I'm going to play it for you, a very nice song. Please. So this is the Govinda song, which has been recorded by the Acharya at the time, Bhagavan Prabhu. And Bhagavan Prabhu, he had an idea, okay, let's put this song to replace Yamuna Devi song at the opening of the deities at 7 o'clock or 7:30. Was it a good idea? I don't believe so. Because Srila Prabhupada has given the instruction that forever we put Yamuna Devi song. So this was not a good idea. This was another little stone on the path to collapse. Anyway, as time passes, we can see that some mistakes have been committed. We should not blame devotees, because you see, what would we do if we are in responsibility, if we are in charge of something, in responsibility? But still, this was not a good idea, definitely. And Srila Prabhupada most probably didn't like it. Lord Krishna didn't like it also. So then there was tax control, and we couldn't pay tax. And then in 1986, one day, I think it was, most probably, I don't remember exactly, in September or October, do you remember, Mataji? October or September 1986, Vishwambara Prabhu, he asked us to come to Krishnaville, all devotees, and give a speech. You don't remember exactly? I think it was in September or October 86. So Vishwambara Maharaj at that time, he became a Prabhu afterwards, but he very exalted devotee. He was Bhagavan Prabhu first man in France. So he asked all the devotees to come for a meeting, a very special meeting in Krishnaville. And all devotees from Paris area, they came. Some were in Saint-Kétan, some were working in the Art Brasserie, the nice restaurant we had in Paris at that time. And right after Mangalartik, Vishwambara, at the time Maharaj, he started to sing the prayers for Srila Prabhupada. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, and then prayers to Srila Prabhupada. And we felt that in the bhajan, that there was something strange. Because at that time, everyone would chant first the pranam mantra of the Acharya, that is to say Bhagavan Prabhu. And for the first time, after so many years, for the first time, we were chanting Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantra first. Namo Vishupadeya, Vishapastaya Mutale, Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Prashene, Vishishas Yavadi Paskachana Sektarene. And then, right after the little bhajan, Vishwambara Maharaj said to us, so we have to inform that Gurudev has decided to change his ashram. He was a sannyasi. He has decided to become a married person. Wow. So everyone was shocked. All of a sudden, after a few minutes, the temple room was empty, almost empty. I was there at the time because my personal service was to be the personal servant of Vishwambara Prabhu. And there was a brahmachari who was witnessed when there was a light cut in the Chateau of Fernandonville in 85. So, then everything collapsed. Devotees, they left. The chateau became empty like anything. Some immediately left to Radhadesh, to England, Bhakti Manor, to other places, to south of France. And some fled to New Mayapur. And in a couple of 1 day or 2 days, it was completely empty. It was incredible. Full collapse. And then a group of devotees, they remained in Krishnaville, and the property was sold, actually, and then the lordships, the deities, Shri Radha Parisisvara, Shri Jagannath Baladev, and Shinta Srishta, they were transferred for some time to New Mayapur. This was, as far as I can remember, in December 1986. And they remained to New Mayapur, till September 1987. At that time, the devotee was in charge of the puja to their lordships. He didn't even have the second initiation. He was going on the altar without the Brahmin thread. Just incredible. Such a strange period of time. But he was such a dedicated devotee. His Grace, my god brother, Vrindavan Prabhu, always to his service. And it was tough. A group of devotees remained in Krishnaville for some time with Vishwambara Prabhu. Most of them were scattered everywhere in France. And then there were a few meetings in Paris, in a Gréasta apartment near Gare du Nord, Rue des Deux Gares. There were a few meetings and a few gatherings. We would chant Hare Krishna, we would take prasadam together. And then one devotee, Shikshastakan Prabhu, Senior Prabhupada disciple, yes, he had been one of the last temple presidents in Krishnaville. He found a place with a few other devotees. He found a place in Noisy-le-Grand, a little place near Paris. And then the devotees, at that time the leader of the Paris community was His Grace Goda Mandala Prabhu, a very strong and nice, ecstatic Sankirtan devotee, such a powerful spirit. He and a few others, they brought their lordships back, they invited their lordships back to Noisy-le-Grand, that is to say near Paris, in a rented house for 23 years. 23 years remained in a rented place near Paris. And then, so this took place in September 1987. And I think it was in Janmashtami 2010, yes. For Janmashtami 2010, their lordships were invited to come to Sarcelles. And the leader at that time was His Grace Nitagwa Sundar, was such a nice devotee, who is such a nice devotee, was serving their lordships in Noisy-le-Grand for many years. And
I remember that place. Okay,
yes.
so
this is in a very big lines the story of their lordships in the last years. So 1986, full collapse, 1987, full coming back to life of the French letter. In the meantime, unfortunately, we lost a restaurant in L'Arbre in Paris, and New Mayapur property was saved with the heroic preaching and the heroic devotees in New Mayapur, and with the presence of His Holiness late Bhakti Yoga Maharaj, the hero of the story, with so many other devotees, Madhvacharya Prabhu, Jagat Kirti Mataji, yes, of course, and so many devotees. They are really the devotees of this period of time. They are really heroes, eternally heroes, as the lotus feet of their lordships, Shri Radha Parisisvara, Shri Jagannath Baladev Suryadevi, Shri Taisa Shishuta, and to their lordships, the lotus feet of their lordships, Shri Radha Madhava, and Shri Gaurayita, and Shri Krishna Balaram, in Shri New Mayapur, Dham. Shri Radha Parisisvara ki Jai, Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Patita Bhavan ki Jai. Thank you very much for your kind tolerance. If you have any comments or questions.
How you bought this place?
Beg your pardon, Prabhuji?
How you bought this place?
Yes, we purchased this place with the money coming from the selling of the property of Krishnaville, actually. And I will tell you a funny story. When Krishnaville was sold, the big chateau, the money coming from Krishnaville was divided in two parts. One for helping New Mayapur and one for Paris. And the money for Paris was divided in two parts. One to help to get a new place, and the second part was to pay the debt of the BBT, because we had so much money we had to give to BBT. And at the time there was no longer administration in the. It was no more ISKCON administration, so to speak, in France. ISKCON, Association Internationale pour la Conscience de Krishna, the translation of ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness, was in bankruptcy. The leaders of that at that time, including Shikshastaka Prabhu, your servant, had strong trouble because we were in management, and the money we got from the selling was put on the personal bank of Baba Sindhu Dasa, because there was no other place to put the money. And for some times there were three devotees who were operating the money: Godala Mandala, Baba Sindhu, and another devotee called Panchatattva Prabhu, who has come back to New Mayapur now. So you see, we had no official account, and still we had to put the money in the safe, guarded by a few brahmacharis or young grihasthas. It was really such a special moment in ISKCON. Other comment?
Prabhu Visdambar, Prabhu is still around?
Vishwambar Prabhu, unfortunately, he passed away a few months ago. Such a wonderful devotee. Such a wonderful devotee.
Just last year he passed.
Yes. We are so sad. Such a wonderful devotee. And actually, he didn't fall down from Krishna consciousness. Never. He was always in saffron. He had been a grihastha for some time, but he could not succeed in Grihastha ashram because he was such a renounced spirit. But he could not remain a sannyasi, so to speak, not because he fell down with some woman, not at all, because he was not in the preaching spirit enough regarding to what was required by the GBC. So because of that, he didn't remain in the sannyas order of life, but in the spirit he was a sannyasi, definitely he was a sannyasi. He remained in Saffron, and that's it. He came to France once or twice to chant Hare Krishna with us in Saffron, in Harinam, and we were very happy.
Where was he situated?
He was from Canada.
Oh, so he went back?
Actually, he went back to Canada because also he was in management for so many years, and he could have had some big trouble also with French authorities, like many of us at that time. Oh my God. Hare Krishna. Other comments, Prabhu?
So yeah, thank you for going through the 7 purposes of ISKCON and also for telling the history of the Pancharatra, which I didn't know a lot of. There's 7 different purposes, and when we offer the ghee lamp, we do 7 times around the Prabhupada. So I think of each of the purposes when I'm offering the ghee lamp,
Wow.
It helps my meditation.
That's a super realization. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mother. So, no other comments? All glories to Srila Prabhupada's movement. All glories to ISKCON. Shri Radha Parisisvara ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Suradevi ki jai, Shri Naisim Sita Gorita ki jai. Nitai go Pramanandi Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
The most interesting thing is that you're still around. Thank you so much. And the temple is here. They're able to accommodate us here for a few days. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We are very nice. Happy to welcome you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
ये लोग का दिमाग करता है, ये लाइट
Oh.
बोला था।
ठीक है कौन क्लास में है? पता नहीं